All right, so today is going to be a special video because today I'm going to be responding to a comment that was left by a subscriber in the comment section of one of the videos. All right, so the comment says, today, March 3rd, 2026, what a horrible day for me. Are you able to go through the bias? Looking forward to see what your bias and opinion was. Thanks in advance for your help. All right, so I'm sorry that you had a bad day today, and whatever happened, hopefully you'll be able to learn from it and be able to have a better day next time. All right, so before we even get started, just a little disclaimer, whatever I'm saying here today, this is not trading advice. This is just my opinions on the market that I'm looking at. All right. All right, cool. So I'm going to go ahead and talk about the bias. All right, cool. So as you can see right now, we have the micro E-mini NASDAQ chart pulled up, and this is the ticker symbol MNQH2026, and we are on the daily time frame. All right, so now that we have that out of the way, let's go ahead and remove that off the chart so we can keep the charts clean. And there we are. All right, cool. So as you may be aware that there are certain levels that we've been talking about. All right. And before we even get to those levels, whenever we talk about the bias, I always use the higher time frames to determine my bias. Okay. So primarily I'm going to be looking at the daily chart to determine my bias. Occasionally, I'll also look at the weekly chart or the monthly chart. But primarily, I'm usually going to be looking at the daily chart. All right, so this is what we have here. So like I was saying, you would be aware that there are certain levels that you've been looking at. So I'm going to go ahead and put those levels on the chart. So the reason why I keep talking about these same levels is because they are still relevant. Okay, so I'm probably going to be talking about the same levels until they are no longer relevant. So let's go ahead and put that on the chart. So right here, we have the suspension block right here, and we have the volume imbalance right here. So those are the levels. Just looking at the chart, you can see that this is where the price is still trading, just going back and forth between these two levels. So this is Monday's candle right here. This is where we closed yesterday. This is how we were looking at the close. And yeah, so as we can see, how the price came down into the volume imbalance. So we've just been going back and forth between the volume imbalance and the suspension block. And now, as far as the bias goes, for me, once I saw the price rejected these highs up here, this is where I adopted a bearish bias. Okay? Because if the price was going to go higher, I would not have expected it to reject these highs up here and to start trading lower. If the price was going to go higher, I would expect to see a close above this suspension block, right? And then I would expect it to use this suspension block as support to go higher. That's what I would have expected to see. I would have expected this to support the price higher once we close above it, if the bias was bullish. But once I see how we rejected the price here, I adopted a bearish bias. Okay, so in yesterday's trading, Monday, you can see the price came down to the volume imbalance. It's a key level, and it held the price once again and sent it back up into the suspension block once again. So you can see we're still trading between these levels, and that's why they're still relevant. Now, going into today, my bias was bearish, so I'm maintaining a bearish bias. So the thing that's going to make me reconsider my bias is what I just talked about a while ago. If the price should come up here and close and then start using the suspension block as support to go higher, then I would reconsider, because maybe the bias would be bullish at that point and we would start going for these highs. But as of right now, my bias is still bearish. And so going into today's trading, if I have a bearish bias, then there are objectives that I would be looking for on the downside. So one of those objectives would be the previous day's low. So that's one of those bread and butter type things that I just, usually start looking for. So yesterday being Monday, this would be the low. This would be the previous day's low right here. Okay. But if we look closer, we can see that we have another low here as well. So between yesterday's low and this low, it creates a very clean level. So these are relative equal lows, relative equal lows. All right. So it's a smooth level. So I would just use this lever right here, and we can just call this sell side liquidity. Right. So those are objectives that I would be looking for coming into the day. And then from here, if we can get past these levels, right? If we can get past this volume imbalance, and then we can take out the sell side liquidity, and we can get past these levels, then we have these levels over here as well. We have these lows. So this low right here, we've also sell side liquidity. We also have this low over here. So this is another level where we have relative equal lows, and this is another smooth level that I would be looking for the price to eventually trade down into these levels. All right, so we can call this sell side liquidity. So those are the things I'm looking at as far as bias goes. I'm bearish. I don't know how long the price is going to keep going back and forth between these levels for. But as long as we're below this suspension block, I'm probably going to maintain a bearish bias, and I'm going to be looking for the price to eventually trade lower down to these levels. And the thing that would make me reconsider is if we can get a close above the suspension block and start using it as support to go higher. All right, so that's my opinion on that. So I hope that was clear, and I hope that was helpful to you as far as what we're looking for. Going into today's trading, if we play it forward, this is where we are right now, okay? So a lot of these objectives were also met overnight, okay? So the price, you can see we opened at these highs up here, and we came down, and we swept the relative equal lows, where we have sell side liquidity. So you see that objective has been met. And once we met this objective, we have a retracement going on right now. All right, cool. So I'm still bearish. So I'm going to look for the price to eventually come for these levels down here as well. All right. So I don't know when it will happen, but those are my expectations. And hopefully that was helpful to you. And as you guys can see, this video was inspired by a comment that was left in the comment section. So go ahead and make sure you guys are leaving comments in the comment section, because you never know, I might just do a video that's based on your comment. All right. Because that's how I'm going to know what you want to see in a video and what would be helpful to you in a video. All right. So just keep at it. Before you know it, you're going to be right where you need to be, right on time. Don't forget to give the video a thumbs up if it's been helpful to you. Don't forget to subscribe if you have not already done so. All right. And right now you should see some videos popping up on the screen. So if you enjoyed this video, then be sure to check out one of those videos.